Formula One have finally unveiled the first images of the 2022 car on their live stream, and I've literally just finished watching it, and I'm just going to jump straight in with as many photos as I could find to give my reaction. It was definitely interesting right off the bat, so yeah, let's just get straight into it because there is a lot to talk about, and I'm also actually going to take a look at a few comments that I found on Twitter as well with regards to what you guys at home thought of the first images of the 2022 car. So yeah, let's jump into it. Now, once again, let me just quickly adjust my mic there. So yeah, I just grabbed as many photos, high quality photos as I could off Twitter and Google and Formula One as well. Now, no doubt, let's just begin right away with the livery, which is, to be honest, kind of the least important part because, again, every single team is going to have their own livery. But how could you not talk about this? So yeah, let's take a look at the studio shots first of all. Again, I've got like loads of images there on the left. So yeah, in terms of the studio shots, or at least the digital shots, yeah, the livery, I don't know what they were thinking about going with this livery right here. It's kind of like a hologram with red. It really does not work. I think it just looks hilarious, and to be honest, it looks even worse if we take a look at some of these like real life shots. I mean, that red is just, yeah, the hologram doesn't work, and that red is just so jarring as well. I mean, it's just, yeah, it's crazy. I don't know who designed it, but Twitter was definitely kicking off about this one. Then there's just like a random shot of all of the drivers right around the car. Yeah, it's yeah, it's kind of a weird one. I don't know who thought about doing a hologram style livery for the launch of the 2022 car. Maybe they just didn't want to like paint it a color. You know, we've got to give it a bit of red because that's the Formula One logo, but we can't paint it all red because that's Ferrari. We can't paint it black or white because that's a bit boring. If we painted it like green or something, that's Aston Martin. So yeah, I don't know how they landed on this livery, but anyway, so yeah, as far as the livery, that is a hot L right there. Not a fan of that at all. But forget about the livery, let's take a look at the actual car itself, because it is good to finally get official images and see the car in person out on track and get some of the views of the drivers as well. I'm sure many of you guys might have seen that this car was actually leaked a few weeks ago. I was actually thinking of making a video like reacting to the leaked Formula One car, but since the real one was coming out, I thought, I mean, there's not really too much of a point. So now that we have the actual official images of the 2022 car, straight away, I think if we go to this image first of all, which is, again, the car was kind of unveiled to the drivers in Silverstone right now. Straight away, my first reaction was going to be, or my first reaction is, I'm not a big fan of the nose. I love what Carlos Sainz said. He likes the car from the wheels back, and I definitely agree. As far as that front wing, it is huge. I mean, it looks absolutely enormous, and especially if you take a look at this photo right here, that front nose, I mean, it looks like a dinner plate. It is massive, and I really hope it's a little bit skinnier on the real cars. And again, just remember, all of these teams, by the time they get a hold of these regulations, or I'm sure obviously they have them already and they're designing their cars, they're going to look completely different. So I'm sure they're going to, I mean, to be honest, I'm kind of scared in terms of what the teams are going to do, because we might end up in a bit of a 2014 situation where each of the cars had basically the wang noses, which wasn't exactly the best. But in terms of this model, yeah, the nose looks absolutely huge. If we take a look at some of the other pictures again, oh, this was hilarious. This was kind of spreading around on Twitter beforehand as well. You can just see George Russell like, what is going on? And Nicholas Latifi, I'm not sure about that one, boss. Yeah, feeling that, Nicholas Latifi. So yeah, that nose, it's pretty big, and the front wing itself is kind of interesting. I do like these kind of outboard sections of the front wing, and the fact that they do look like massive fins. I think that's quite cool, but it looks like a massive front wing, which I'm actually not a big fan of, because it kind of makes racing a little bit harder, because you're always going to be worrying about that massive front wing, and even now the wings are ridiculous. So yeah, not a big fan of how big it is, but in terms of the actual style, except for the nose, which again just seems to go on forever and looks like a dinner plate, yeah, other than that, I think it looks pretty cool. Now, once again, we've got these kind of pieces over the front wheels. Now, I completely forgot why they're actually there, but yeah, we're going to have them in 2022 as well. I don't really mind them, to be honest. I think they look okay, but the most kind of important part of the car is the back of it, and It's really cool actually to see the car's proportions for the first time, definitely relative to the drivers. I do think these cars are going to be a little bit smaller than the cars that we have now, but sadly it's not going to be by a massive amount, which is a little bit annoying because I think a lot of the drivers, especially the older ones that raced in the pre-2000 and kind of 9 rules, they all say that the cars from 2005, 6, 7 and 8, those smaller, really much more nimble cars is what they want, but that is simply not going to happen in 2022 because the engine is absolutely massive. Also, for safety reasons, the crash structure has to be bigger. So the Sport has obviously moved on. We've still got the Halo, as you can see. There has been a bit of controversy in terms of the rear wing. I've seen a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people are not a fan of the brand new rear wings. I actually don't mind them. If we take a look at this photo right here, they definitely are. They definitely are something different. They're much more kind of curvy. They're not. They don't just look like blocks and like shelves. I quite like that, to be honest. There's definitely, again, loads of people have been having their opinions on whether or not they do or do not like the rear wings. I think it's quite interesting. I don't mind Formula One going for something new. Again, the purpose of these cars is to make sure that they can overtake, and if it does the job, then I definitely do not mind that. Also, if we take a look now at the front and rear wheels as well, brand new for 2022, they're going to be a lot more covered. I think 18-inch tires as well, so that's going to be very cool. I quite like them, to be honest. I think it definitely has that futuristic look if you take a look at this image. Also, you can see obviously the Halo, of course, that is now a staple, and I'm not sure if the Halo is going to look exactly like that because I'm sure they're going to fine-tune it just a little bit. And the teams, once they get a hold of these cars and once they get their aero engineers on them, they're going to look completely different. There is already going to be, I mean, the rules actually allow for so many different configurations in terms of the front nose, in terms of the side pods and everything, so these cars are just the bare minimum. Of course, now we have also ground effects, so they're going to be completely different to drive, and I think that's something that I'm very excited for because none of these drivers, I don't think, have ever driven ground effect cars, and in 2022 it's going to make a return. And I mentioned in a George Russell video very recently that it almost puts all of the drivers on equal footing because you don't know what your driving style is going to do with ground effect cars. Is it going to match your style? Is it not going to match your style? So it really will bring out the best drivers and the ones that can adapt the best. Also, looking through the car as well, if we take a look at a side angle, there is now also a bit of a shark fin, and it'll be interesting to see how the teams kind of go about that. Are they going to make a bigger shark fin? It kind of looks similar in size to the Alfa Romeo shark wing from 2021. So yeah, again, that'd be quite cool to see. The main photos, there's some random ones again of the drivers just standing around. I must admit, these photos, especially this one right here, is just kind of funny of all of the drivers just around the car like it's some kind of shrine or something. So yeah, very interesting there. Not as good of a photo, a bit of a lower quality one, but yeah, I mean, overall thoughts, a tiny bit underwhelmed because maybe it's just the livery, to be honest. It's to be honest what I expected when we all saw the teaser photos and all of the pictures last year in terms of the digital photos. Again, that nose is just so jarring. It's like so wide, it's crazy. But the rest of the car, to be honest, I'm actually a really big fan of. If we just take away that stupid livery, I'm excited to see what the teams are going to be doing with these cars. Yeah, really great to finally have images and finally have some more information as well. They talked a lot about in terms of the technical aspects of the car, which I'm not going to go through because yeah, I probably need to dive a little bit more deeper into that. And it'll be also interesting to see. I think the cars will be a lot more cleaner, even though this is just a base plate and they are going to be able to put aero all over the car. I do think that the cars are going to look a little bit cleaner in terms of the side pods as well. You can see obviously that's where the air is going to go into in terms of the Venturi tunnel. So it's a brand new world in Formula One, but still just that front wing looks absolutely massive. And I'd be worried if I was a driver about like clipping someone when you're trying to overtake. Obviously Kimi Räikkönen had a bit of trouble with that in Austria in Styria. So yeah, we also have some more. I mean, this photo especially, when we just first got to see the car in like the studio, I mean, yeah, that livery, the hologram looks crazy. I don't know. Oh, again, that was such a mistake, but it is what it is. And so yeah, in terms of the 2022 car, that is my kind of initial thoughts. I'm actually a really big fan of it. I love the rear wing. I love the shape of it. I love that we're going to ground effect. It looks a lot more lower as well. I don't know if it's just me, but obviously the modern Formula One cars are low as it is, but it just looks so much more lower to the ground, which I think is pretty cool. I'm also a fan of the clean look. It's just that nose that is super wide and super jarring, but yeah, I'm excited to see what the Formula Formula 1 teams are going to do, what their liveries are going to look like. And also on the channel in the future, I've got some upcoming content and some plans to do my concept liveries for each of the teams for the 2022 cars. So definitely stay tuned for that. But now I want to take a look at what you guys said over on Twitter. So yeah, let's go on Twitter and take a look. So here we go. I shot out a quick tweet just to get your initial thoughts on the car. So Chris Paul Design says, was not how I expected the wheels to look like. Already 3D modeling the new wheels and 4 elements of the front wing. And Chris Paul, by the way, does some really cool concept liveries as well. So definitely check him out on Twitter as well. Now, Einfachner Max says, I'm not sure if I like it or hate it. I do definitely understand that there's been so many like mixed opinions, but I think it just comes down to that livery. It's just like so jarring. People are not quite sure what to make of it. Myra Castillo, I kind of like the livery, the holographic. So there you go. I've literally just been proven wrong in the next tweet. So someone does like the livery, totally fair. Not quite sure what the username is there, but it's amazing. Then we have tips. It looks so heavy. It is going to be, these cars are heavy. It's not going to be, they're actually getting heavier, which I'm not a big fan of because that's worse for racing. You want light and agile cars, but again, with the bigger structure, with the safety aspect, with these hybrid power units, it's just impossible to get these cars to be any lighter. So that's a bit disappointing. The wheels look weird in my opinion, says Felipe. I definitely understand that. It's going to be quite interesting to get used to. They're a lot more kind of sleeker, almost like Brawn 2009 vibes. They're not quite the multi-spoke wheels that we're used to. Massive front wing, says Sav Designer. Yeah, definitely. That was the thing that popped out to me as well. Heavier, slower, simpler, still too big, says Martin. So yeah, there's clearly a little bit of negativity. Looks fast, it looks great, but at the end, the nose is kind of weird. So there's plenty of talk about the nose. I definitely agree on that one. It was kind of interesting, but again, a little bit of skepticism clearly from a lot of people. But yeah, again, this is just our first kind of initial reactions, which is very, very interesting. But yeah, there you go. That is I'm going to go back to the picture. There it is, the 2022 car. Still kind of strange to get used to it and to look at it, but Daniel Ricciardo, I think, says it best. Obviously, it's quite new to us at the moment, but we're going to get used to these cars so quickly. So yeah, great to finally get the 2022 car in the flesh finally, and hopefully we'll be there at Silverstone because, of course, this weekend I am going at Silverstone, so hopefully there's going to be an actual model for the fans to look at, so I can't wait to see that as well. But there you go, guys. That kind of rounds off my first initial impressions of the 2022 car. Now let me know all of your thoughts in the comments box below. What did you think about the live stream, the livery, and the car itself? And are you excited to see the 2022 cars, the real ones from the teams, out on track next season? Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments box below. And once again, a massive thank you for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, then don't forget to drop a like and smash that subscribe button, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.